To me, filmmaking wasn't really a choice. It was more or less a natural progression. I started off loving to read. Favorite book when I was a child was Shel Silverstein's The Giving Tree, and from there I started to write. In Form 1, I started to write a lot of prose and even poetry, and because of that, I think the creative arts have always been somewhere I was heading. When I went into SPCS to study creative media, the Higher National Diploma for Creative Media, I had a course where we had to shoot a short film, and it was in creating that short film I realized this is something I just love to do. It has all my favorite aspects of media in it. It has the aspect of being behind a camera where I can record, I can actually show people visually what I was seeing in my mind. It has the writing aspect where you have to write the script and come up with our own story. It was literally pure creation. It was my own world being visualized and emphasized for people to actually see. And I think it was just a natural progression for me. It was somewhere I was always heading, whether I knew it or not. The local industry is, in my opinion, a little bit more difficult, especially for newcomers, compared to other countries. The reason I'll say that is because other countries, they're constantly having competitions. They make it a part of school activities, various other places. I studied in Scotland at one point, and they actually had clubs for filmmakers. And they start you from young, and they try to keep you going. They try to make you want to be a part of it, and they try to inspire you and help you grow your talent. Whereas in Trinidad, it's not part of our curriculum. It's not part of our education. We do have competitions, especially like the annual film festival, that is making it easier for people to be introduced into the industry and kind of get a foothold and find their place locally. However, compared to other countries, we still have a lot we can do to kind of develop our local talents. Because I always say this, and it's probably a bias because I'm from Trinidad, but I always find Trinidad to have the most creative people I've ever come across. Like, we're always thinking of something new, something fun, and new aspects, new angles. So as a result, we need to harness that creativity and literally show it in every form and aspect, and one way in doing that is film. So we really should incorporate it into schools and other things to kind of help the young filmmakers actually grow and follow their dreams. To get into the local industry is a challenge. It usually requires you knowing somebody or starting from the bottom and going film festivals, probably just handing out flyers until you can slowly get your way up. Or if you have the money, where you could create your own film and then take it to the film festival or upload it onto YouTube or whatnot. Like, you'd see The Prodigal Son spray painted everywhere. Check it out on YouTube, almost everywhere in Trinidad. And that's because we have the means, we have the platform, we have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram that we could share these films on. We have the festival, the film festival, that we could pay more money and enter the film. However, the actual creating the film, you have to be very creative and self-reliant and figure it out on your own. There is organizations you can pay to join that will help you to a point, but you need to figure it out yourself for the vast majority. And to then join these organizations is still a difficult task. Working in the industry, on the other hand, you don't really see people, not like Hollywood, where there's money tied up and again a lot of people paying to create films. There are people I know that came to me, they want to shoot a film, they have a script, or they want a script to shoot a film, and they're asking you as a creative person to give it to them freely. They're not really thinking of it as this is your time, this is your effort, this is what you do for a living. And as a result, I don't think people really think of filmmakers as a full-time job in Trinidad and Tobago, whereas in other countries you could have somebody that's just a filmmaker and they shoot their films, they write their scripts, they do this, that, the other, and that's their job. Whereas in Trinidad, we tend to treat it like a hobby. So work-wise, we have a long way to go, and that's not just filmmakers, as creators on the whole. From the actors that are involved, to people writing these scripts, to just photographers or models. People tend to just say, come do it for the exposure, so people could see your talent. So you can't sit down and eat a plate of exposure any night though. This film, surprisingly, I'm not sure if it's really a film, more like a video, was actually a Star Wars battle in Scotland with my two cousins, where I didn't know anything about video editing or camera work or anything at the moment. My friend had a little camcorder, and we took my phone and we played a song by Bass Nectar, and we literally had it right on the phone because we didn't know how to edit the audio in films and whatnot. And we went down, myself and two cousins went down to our park, took out the lightsabers. It was completely unrehearsed. We were just watching the videos and we thought we wanted to complete the story, and we had a go at each other with these lightsabers, and we always intended to edit it to make it look like real lightsabers, real battle and whatnot. However, when looking for the software, couldn't find free software with kids, and yeah, that was how that of my first actual experience with any sort of video was that moment. And I was actually in the video. I wasn't the one recording it, however I was the one directing it. You could actually see in parts of the video I'm telling the director focus on the cameraman to focus on this aspect, and I was telling him how to go about it beforehand. So I was directing the film while acting in it as well, and it was an experience. It was a good experience, and ironically enough, that moment was a crucial moment for me because I enjoyed making these videos for YouTube just for entertainment, but it also inspired my younger cousin who was in the video. He went into filmmaking. However, when I came back to Trinidad, he stayed in Scotland, so we had a different way of going about it. I went to school to study and learn more about it and whatnot. He joined clubs and he's following it through these clubs and through what the country provides them to help them grow their talents, and I'm actually very proud of him, and he honestly accredits me for being willing to create these YouTube videos with him. That's why he developed his talent and wanted to become a filmmaker in the first place. So it's good to think that I was able to have a positive impact in his life at the same time while following my dream. My favorite project would be the first actual film I ever shot, which was for SPCS for an assignment. It was entitled The Interrogation. It was a bit of a challenge because the person I had to work with had their own script in mind, and what the lecturer told us is we had to either pick a script or find a way to merge the ideas. Now my idea was about an interrogation on the murder of a woman, and it was to try and flesh out flashbacks. So they're interrogating him, but when he's telling the story, it flashes back to what was going on, and it's a paint two different pictures, so you don't actually really know who the murderer is until the end. Won't spoil it because I actually do intend to actually film this, like my version, it completely. His idea was a bank robbery gone wrong, and we kind of blended the idea where it was interrogation of a family member that was killed. However, we've realized it wasn't just because he was killed, it was with regards to blackmail, and it was another family member doing it, and it was so much going on. And I think we tried to merge the two ideas to say we compromised. However, we should have gone one or the other, because in merging two ideas, my version of the film, because we had to have alternative endings, my version of the film in particular became a little muddled and confused, where after I explained it, you understood what happened, but at the end, you kind of didn't really realize the motive for the person unless I explained it. I alluded to it, but not enough. but that is still my favorite project because we shot the film in 3 days. There was a ton of things that went wrong. One day we went to shoot, we didn't have the camera. Another day we lost the light. On top of that, I had no money to shoot this film, so this was the school equipment. Borrowing my friends and they to help. My whole family got involved because we needed adults. My mother, my father, my uncle, and my sisters worked behind the scenes, helping hold the boom pole, doing makeup. My little brother helped acting as a silhouette for somebody else, and it was honestly hectic, crazy, but euphoric experience. I enjoyed every minute of it. My inspiration for filmmaking probably comes from watching a lot of movies. I mean, specific movies in particular. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I love thrillers. I love the whole aspect of trying to figure out who it is, but never being 100% sure. And ironically, on the other end of the spectrum, one of my other favorite movies that always inspires me, and you can see examples or themes from that movie being taken into what I create, would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I love that movie. I love the aspect of breaking the fourth wall, and it's in that movie I kind of found a new way to tell a story where you could actually interact with the audience, and I just love it. The reason for that is they're both very unique. They both set a trend. They both kind of create a theme that lasts for ages. Ferris Bueller's Day Off started the whole breaking the fourth wall in film, at least. I can't guarantee that no other thing did it before, but that was one of the most recognizable ones, where he's in constant conversation with the audience. Every other now and again he'll look to the audience and talk to them, and I just love it, to the point you can actually see Deadpool's end credit scene, the first Deadpool that is, they actually take it from the end credit scene of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it's actually literally a recreation, and it does show how much of an influence they still have. On the same aspect, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, the angles in which the camera is being held, the dark tones, the contrast, all of that can still be found in a lot of psychological horrors and thrillers, and that just shows that their work is extremely influential and inspiring, and it inspires me. My most current project is actually a blend of both my writing ability, my love for writing I should say, and my love for being behind a camera. I wrote 10 spoken word poems. The group collection is called Coffee Cup Conversations, and the theme behind all of it is it's supposed to be conversational poems, so it's something you can talk to with a friend over a cup of coffee. And basically I want to shoot, without a better term, music videos for each poem, and basically what goes on with the poems is when you play them in sequence, you realize you're following one specific person throughout his day. So he introduces himself to a group. After that, he's at coffee with a friend. After that, he's reflecting on something. So each video is its own standalone piece. However, when watching a sequence, you realize, I don't want to say it's a short film, but it is experimental film, because it doesn't exactly have beginning, climax, end. However, it would follow some aspects of conventional film and experimental film. So that is the most recent project I'm working on. My advice to anyone who wants to be a filmmaker, or anybody who wants to be creative in general, is to constantly pursue it. Every breath, every step, every action has to be reflecting what it is you want. I took a 9-to-5 job and worked and literally bought a camera where I had to pay it off after time. I went and studied creative media. All these is with people telling me, oh, photographers don't make that much money, you're gonna have to work a second job, or another aspect of something I want to do is journalism, and people are like, oh, that's not that fun in Trinidad, you don't make much money. I didn't care. This is my dream, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a filmmaker, a writer, a photographer. I wanted to create, and as a result, every step I took was putting me closer to that goal. I didn't put a time limit on that goal. All I said was, this is where I wanted to be, and every action I took, I tried to make sure it was taking me just a little bit closer, just a little bit to that goal. I didn't say, oh, by the end of the year, I'd have my first camera. It took me 2 years to get my first camera. Whatnot. It took me 2.5 to get my diploma in creative media. It'll take me another year when I start for the bachelor's. But fact of the matter is, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it. And if that is what you want to do, if you know that is what you want to do, if you want to create, follow your dreams. Don't listen to what everybody has to say. If this is what you want to do, you should chase it. You should do everything you can to reach there.